Hi, welcome to the Upper Bloom. My name is Jennifer and I am your floral stylist. Today is our last segment of the fall-winter transition centerpieces and arrangements. So for this final one, I wanted to do something really cool and different. I thought if you're sick and tired of mason jars and burlap and the kind of stuff that you see all over Pinterest, I wanted to come up with something a little bit different for a runner and a rustic theme. So I'm going to make a fall, kind of neutral fall Christmassy centerpiece in this mercury glass container. Really inexpensive container. I think this was $14. And so for starters, what you're going to need is Oasis. Normally I design in just water, but Oasis is great if you want to build your arrangement above and beyond the size of the container. And you can do, or rather you can make your designs a little more creative and out of the box when you're using Oasis. So I'm going to just kind of press this in here. You want to leave a little lip on it so you have room to insert greenery around the base of your container. You want to make sure that your container is full of water because this Oasis sucks it up really fast. And when you design an Oasis, you want to make sure that you add water to your arrangement every couple of days. I'm going to start with some treated fall leaves. These are real leaves, but they've been treated so that they'll last a long time. And I'm just going to poke them in a couple inches. You want to turn as you go. Make sure you insert everything a good 2 inches in the Oasis, because that way it'll be sure and drink plenty of water. You don't have to worry about that when you're using stuff like this, but when you're using the fresh flowers, you want to make sure they're able to drink. These leaves make a nice full base, and because they've been treated, if you want to, you can even reuse them. Okay, now I'm going to add some Hypericum berries, which I like to use these a lot because they're hardy and they also come in a lot of different colors. This is a really gorgeous, deep red burgundy color that again is very fall, winter neutral. You always want to strip off the excess greenery too, but I like to keep a little bit on there. It looks a lot more natural that way. Ideally for this tablescape, I wanted to use some raw leather scraps, because I thought that that made for a really different rustic looking runner. But I had to improvise because I wasn't able to get it in time, and I did come across this nice piece of suede. And 1 yard, you can get a good 3 runners out of 1 yard. And it was really inexpensive. I think I paid $10. And it makes for a really neat tablescape if you're looking for a rustic or western or even a country look that's completely different from what you normally see on Pinterest and in magazines. So once you'll see this all set up, the suede will really show off everything really nicely. Okay, I'm gonna add some roses to my arrangement, and I wanted to show you how to open a rose if they're not already open naturally. You can do this to get more volume out of your rose, and it really will bulk up your arrangement without having to add a whole lot of flowers. And what you wanna do is let them warm up to room temperature. If they just come out of the cooler, you can't really do this because the petals will tear. So let them warm up to room temperature, and you're just gonna gently peel over probably at least six of the petals, and that makes your rose open up. And you have a lot more volume, and it looks really beautiful. So like I've said before, whenever you're designing, you want it to look three-dimensional all the way around. So when you insert your flowers, you want to insert them at an angle and you want them to come toward you. And if you're a beginner, you want to make sure that you turn your container as you go. That way you're making sure that you don't miss any holes and that your whole arrangement looks just full and what is the word? Full and balanced. Full and balanced. It's nice to open some roses and leave some closed so they're in different stages. So it looks like they're in different stages of opening, and that gives your design a lot more natural effect. Also, you want to group your flowers together. You have more of an impact that way, and it looks more natural than putting one here and one there. Now I want a little bit of fall color in mine, so I'm going to add some of these orange ranunculus. I'm going to turn this so you can see how it's looking. Put 3 more on this side. Now I also bought this filler flower. It's called a chocolate Cosmo. These are beautiful. They have kind of cream all the way into deep burgundy variations, and as you can see, they're really lacy and pretty, and this makes for a really gorgeous filler flower. And surprisingly, as delicate as they look, they really last a long time too. This adds a lot of softness to your arrangement. And it fills in really nicely too. If you're not using something like hydrangea, which I normally like to use a lot, this really kind of bulks it out and makes it look really full. I'm going to add one more element. I like to try and keep my designs pretty simple and only use 4 or 5 elements at the most, so it doesn't look too much. So I'm gonna add some Sweet William. This is a really inexpensive filler flower. It's really hardy and it comes in a lot of different colors. This is a really pretty burgundy color. We've been using coleus a lot lately in the last couple arrangements that I've done, and this would be a great piece to add some coleus to, because it has, it comes in those rich fall colors. I want to just add a little bit of coleus to fill in the top, and this is great just for sticking in water, but when you're putting it in oasis you need to be really careful because it does have a fragile stem, so it'll snap off really easy if you're not careful. So we're just going to poke it in. You only need a couple of pieces of this. This really adds a lot to any centerpiece. It's so beautiful. Okay, I think we're about done here. I just want to show you all the way around how it looks. This is a great size for probably a 60 to 72 inch round table. Now, how I really want to show this off is by adding the wood element. And this piece of wood I actually found. You know, if you look around and you see people cutting down trees, you can get some of these slabs of wood for free, because when you try and buy them, even at a wholesale florist, they're really starting to jack up the price because they are trendy to use right now. And I'm finding that they're getting more and more expensive to buy. So if you're able to acquire some of this wood from somebody, I would take advantage of it. So this really adds a lot to your centerpiece because it not only bumps it up, but it gives it a lot of interest around the base. Just going to slide it over this way a little bit. And then I'm just going to add a couple extra votives around in the matching mercury glass. And as you can see here, it just makes for a really neat rustic look, but the whole mercury glass adds a really beautiful and I'd say elegant touch to it. So there we have your fall, which can transition into Christmas by simply taking out the orange ranunculus and substituting them for another color. Or you can even, as it gets closer to Christmas, add just some cedar greens to it. And that would really make it more geared toward holiday time. All right, so if you're looking for a rustic look, I think this wood adds the element that you're gonna want. And especially too, if you're able to get some leather or some suede and just create a simple runner, a simple, inexpensive runner. This I think is what really sets it off. So this concludes this for this centerpiece, and I wanted to tell you that I do have a website coming, so if you see anything that you really love that you're looking to learn how to make for yourself, you'll be able to contact me through my website. Also, I want to thank Anna Brandt for my beautiful backdrop, and I want you to take a look at this really cool cowhide bracelet from Johnny Jeans. And she also provided this awesome, I think it's called a boho looking vest. To me it looks very boho. Hopefully I look more bow than hoe. So anyway, thank you so much, Johnny Jeans, and stick with me because next time I'm going to be doing a beautiful Christmas centerpiece using sugared fruit. Thank you.